Welcome to the Behind the Music for South Rec Christmas 8. To start this whole series off, let's first talk about the album, then we'll talk about the studio tour, you know what I mean? So this album has 18 tracks on it. It started out with just 12, but you know how our Christmas albums get, man. How all the albums get here, you know what I mean? They tend to grow over time, so it's very organically evolving from what the initial concept was. So 18 tracks, man. You know, we have Heaven's Gate, The Downtrodden, Castaway, Pain, Blood My Mind, Heartbeat, Altar Call 8, Ghetto, Top Down Cruising, Pulse of a Righteous Life. I'm looking at my screen here because there's a lot of tracks, man. Mahogany, Suppression, Supprofond Le, Crooked Ones, Starlight Traveler, Fall in Love Again, Vibe Life, End of Time, and finally Higher. So a couple of these tracks came over from the Castaway arc that I was doing for my Berkeley degree. And so like Castaway, Suppression, Blood My Mind, I think that's it. Yeah, so those three tracks right there came over from the Castaway arc that I was doing for my SIG licensing culinary experience for Berkeley. You know what I mean? So we continue that Castaway building and Castaway theme. Now this year I'm here by myself. You know what I mean? I'm running the label solo, and so I wanted to do an album that commemorated our evolution of the Christmas series. You know what I mean? It started out first with the first couple album covers was more like Christmas things. I put them up over here. You know what I mean? And so they had a lot of Christmas look to it, traditional holiday thing, you know what I mean, like snow and gifts and things like that. Over time, the cover art's been growing, you know what I mean, and evolving to what it's become. By the time we got to the 7th volume, which was in the year of our Bamboo Seed Prophecy, if y'all been around for that for a while, you understand what that was about. That was our year, our significant year of transition into our divine calling, you know. So it was our 7th volume of our Christmas album. It was 3 albums that we put out that year: Fade to Black, Face of Life, Bible, and Hymn, you know what I mean? And then we dropped that 7th Christmas album, man. So it was a blessing, you know what I mean? And so, oh, no, Hymn wasn't part of the Bamboo Seed Prophecy. My bad. It was Fade to Black, Bible, the Christmas album. And then the following year, you know what I mean, we did the Hymn, you know what I mean, as the solo projects. Also with Fall in Love Again by Charles Stewart, that was 2024. So the 2023 was the Bamboo Seed Prophecy, where we did the 7th volume of the Christmas series. And on that cover was the gate of heaven. Typical imagery of what I believe the heaven gate looked like, you know what I mean? I don't really know what it looks like, but you see the imagery up there on the screen, you know what I mean? You get an understanding where I was going forward with the imagery. And so with that number 7 came to completion. And the Lord put upon my heart that now it was time to have the imagery accurately represent what the music was about. The music was never really about Christmas gifts and Santa Claus and things like that. The first album in the series was geared towards that, and I think the second one may have been. I gotta look at the track title, but over time it's been grown into what it's become now. The initial concept was to put out music during the holiday when not everybody's feeling the joy of Christmas, you know what I mean? There are some people really going through some dark times, and so the Christmas series is geared to those people, to reach to those dark places that often people get isolated in, you know what I mean? And so with the volume 8, I wanted to truly walk into that commission, man. It's a major change at the label, a major calling for my divine purpose with the music and my walk with God, you know what I mean? So this album had to be divinely led, and it really was, which I'll get into about the Castaway tour in a minute. But so the album theme is called The Downtrodden, and so the songs on it is geared to let people they're not alone. First of all, it talks about finding comfort with your spouse, which is Mahogany, Fall in Love Again. What else we got? Heartbeat. You know what I mean? So those are for relationship type things. You know what I mean? To look to your significant other to draw strength from and to be the strength for. You know what I mean? The downtrodden and like the castaway and pain and things is my own personal struggles and problems that I had to deal with during this transition to running the label by myself. You know, it's a lot of pressure on me. You know what I mean? And so I really had to lean on God for that. You know what I mean? To guide me into where He wanted this album to be. And so that's where we come. You know what I mean? There's also tracks on here to uplift, Top Down Cruising, Pulse of a Righteous Life, Starlight Traveler, talks about like perspective and things. But as we get into each individual song on these videos, I go more into depth about what the song's about, how it fits into the grand overall theme of the downtrodden and whatnot. But so that's the Sovereign Christmas 8, man. The downtrodden is the main theme. So now let's talk about this Castaway MuvMint Studio Tour. This thing was birthed out of, it seemed like thin air, kind of. You know what I mean? I just graduated Berkeley, right? And like I said earlier, the label was cut down to just me. You know what I mean? So I really wanted to do something that I'd never done before. So the Castaway MuvMint Studio Tour was a recorded studio tour in 4 states, you know what I mean, to record this album. It started in New Jersey at Gradwell House. I've always had a nice feeling in the great sessions when I go to Gradwell House. You know what I mean? My professor was from Camden County, and he owns the studio with his other partners. You know what I mean? So I met him at Camden County College in Blackwood, and since then, you know what I mean, we've been off and on talking and maintaining our relationship and friendship. You know what I mean? So I felt it was necessary to begin this journey of this studio tour at my home base. That's not my home base. You know what I mean? I really wanted to take this album out of my hands this go round. You know what I mean? I didn't want to do like I typically did with like the Fade to Black album and the Christmas albums, where I'm recording everything myself, mixing and mastering everything myself, producing everything. You know what I mean? I wanted to take something off my plate. So all the recording was done in different studios. It's not South Rec entities. You know what I mean? They go to the Epicenter Studios, you know what I mean, to record. And that kind of changed too, you know what I mean? Because with that Castaway branding that I'm building, I also branched away from the Epicenter Studios and uniquely special production. Uniquely resurrected, I got things all twisted up. Uniquely resurrected productions, you know what I mean? So now I operate under Tiebreak Soundworks, because that's now my production and my sync licensing division for the label, you know what I mean? So Tiebreak Soundworks is my production joint. And so I've been building that up. And then with that come along the change in the studio name as well, the Tiebreak MuvMint Sound Studios, you know what I mean? No longer the Epicenter. Everything's been moved into the next bracket, next tier of my divine calling. So with that, I started this recorded studio tour in Gradwell House, New Jersey, Hatton Heights. Mr. Morgan, my man, my homeboy and brother Alex, you know what I mean? I met him at Camden County. We went to rowing together, so he's been on a couple songs with us, especially on my Fade to Black. You know what I mean? He was on Karma. Was he on something else? I have so much music, man. You know what I mean? But Alex been around for a while. He actually went to school with my daughter Cherie, so he was like he's family. You know what I mean? So I called on him to help me out with a couple of these tracks. I first sent him the track Heartbeat, you know what I mean? And he wrote the hook for it, but he couldn't get the verses done over time and I guess creative flow, you know what I mean? So he at least had the hook for that done. So I came back and wrote the verses for that. But we got Heartbeat done, Top Down Cruising, and Fall in Love Again, which, like I said, I go into the details with each of those tracks when the time comes. But that's what that session was geared for, because he works at Rowan and his time is limited. So we only had that one time to get together in the lab and create the music for this album. So that's what that session really was about, man. And we had fun, man. You definitely go to the website. You get to see like the studio tour live streams, and on the MuvMint TV, you get to see me editing the tracks and things like that. But so that's what the Grad Warehouse was, man. It was I think it was 5 hours. I think it was in there for 5 hours. You know what I mean? And we got three tracks done. You know what I mean? So I'm happy about that. Oh, wait, 1, 2. Let me look at the screen here. 1, 2. Yeah, three tracks done, and I had some little things add to Super Son, Super Fun Lil. You know what I mean? So that was the Grad Warehouse session. The next session was in New York. I mean, my wife went with me to Gradwell. She wanted to go with me to New York as well. So we went to Lounge Studio up there in Manhattan. That was a great time for me and my wife. The night before we went to dinner. I forget the name of the restaurant. I'll put it up so y'all can see. But it was a nice time. I mean, it's her first time really being in New York, so she had a great experience of dining in the restaurant that was a little upscale and had some class to it, you know what I mean? So we did that, and then the next morning we went to the recording studio with my man Jordy, you know what I mean? There we knocked out Castaway, Super Son, Blood My Mind. I think we did something else too. Oh, and Mahogany. You know what I mean? So I came out of there with 4 tracks. It's like with these tours, each stop, man, I was getting better at things, you know what I mean? The Grad Warehouse tour, I was kind of figuring out how to do the live stream aspect of things, you know what I mean, how to set that up. But as time went on with each session, I got faster with it, you know what I mean, where I was putting this stuff up within like 20, 25 minutes, I had everything up and going, you know what I mean. So yeah, that was in New York, man. That was a great experience as well, to be in a location where a lot of Billboard hits was made, you know what I mean. So I'll still do a picture up too, you know what I mean? Like, as I'm talking, I'll show you some pictures, you know what I mean? But, so that was New York, man. And then we came back to Jersey. Like the whole concept was to go to the session, come back to Tiebreak MuvMint Sound Studios. I'm still getting used to the name. And editing and cleaning up the tracks before the next session, you know what I mean? So came back to the crib, got those tracks done, cleaned up and ready for mixing and mastering for when I finally get the chance. And so the next stop was in Florida. Unfortunately, my wife couldn't go with me there. I went to Resolve Records down there in Florida, and that was a great experience as well, because the owner, Joey Wheaton, I went to Berkeley with him, and that's how we connected. So it was great to see my education aspect of my journey come into play in my commission to do this album. So I went down there. The night before, I went to he has his label, Resolve Records, you know what I mean? And so he had a EP release party for his band, The Horde of the Culture, you know what I mean? So I went with him there to help set up some things and take pictures, and yeah, man, it was fun to be out on the road again, you know what I mean? Unfortunately, like I said, my wife couldn't go, so she didn't get to experience that part of it. But I definitely kept in contact with her. She saw the live streams and things. So when we did get to Florida, to the recording studio, you know what I mean? Up and running, got things straight off the back. He liked my process of doing things and like the loop recording and things, you know what I mean? So we got to like the 3rd track, and you know, that Florida weather hit us, man. So, you know what I mean? The thunderstorms knocked the power out for like an hour. I was like, all right, well, I'll just come back in the morning and finish up, you know what I mean? So I had actually took down all the equipment, and me and him, we was just sitting there talking marketing, business, just life in general, you know what I mean? It was a good time. I got to meet his son Cam and his girlfriend, you know what I mean? So it was great, man. And so, but right before I was getting ready to leave, the power came back on. So he said, all right, let's just knock it out so I don't have to come back in the morning and then worry about having to go catch a flight, you know what I mean? So for that session, we knocked out the interludes, like the Heaven's Gate, End of Time, Altar Call, and then I did Pain, and then I did, what else I do there? What other track did I do there? I'm trying to think what else I did. Pain. Oh, and the Downtrodden. You know what I mean? So I got a lot done down there in Florida, man. Like I said, the three interludes, Heaven's Gate, Altar Call, End of Time, then I got Pain and the Downtrodden done, you know what I mean? So it was another great session, you know what I mean? And like I said, as I was going through each spot, man, I was just getting better and better at it. So left Florida, got home safely, you know what I mean? The flight wasn't too bad, man. The TSA lines wasn't too bad, even though they was on strike and they was going through their nonsense of not getting paid, man. I salute to you guys for sticking in. So those showed up anyway, you know what I mean? And so I came back home, cleaned them tracks up, and then we had one more final stop. That was California, man. We went all the way over, you know what I mean? And my wife did go with me to California, to Santa Monica. I got to meet up with my good friend and professor, Professor Reiner, you know what I mean? We went to Campos. I put the pictures as I'm talking, but yeah, we went and got some lunch before the session. Went to the session, man, and this was Green Tea Studios in Santa Monica. Great location, man. They had a couple studios in the building, so I had my own little room in there, and it was great. We set the cameras up, and we went right into it, man. This is where the rest of the tracks was recorded. I really only had like 3 songs left to do at this point, so what did I get done? I got Ghetto done, Pulse of a Righteous Life, and Starlight Traveler. You know what I mean? Oh yeah, also at Resolve Records I did Vibe Life too. Yeah, so we did like 6 tracks of Florida, you know what I mean? So I only had the 3 tracks left, you know what I mean? And so I dropped them tracks, and we still had time left. So I said, well, let me go back and do like some punching work on these other tracks that, like as I was editing these tracks, things were starting to come to mind, like, oh, I should have did this, I should have did that. So I was able to do that, man, and add some punching stuff to fully equip these tracks, you know what I mean? Especially on like Heartbeat, there were some tripped up words I said, so I changed that wording, you know what I mean? Added some intros of things, some outros of things, did a couple takes of Blood My Mind, you know what I mean? I did like 3 straight runs of that just to have them, so I could have like that extra layer of audio to work with. And that excuse me, that was that session. Now that session and that trip was a nightmare almost, you know what I mean? We got down there, and that's when the flight thing started acting up, you know what I mean? And so we had a delayed flight from California. We were supposed to go to Arizona, you know what I mean? But that flight got canceled. So we were sitting there and waiting. Then they gave us a couple options. We said, okay, let's go to Pittsburgh. So we went to Pittsburgh, you know what I mean? And it was snowing out there, you know what I mean? So we was delayed over there for a couple hours. And so me and my wife went to, I think it was Smash Burgers. And those burgers was hitting, man. You know what I mean? Me and her got to enjoy a meal there, and just traveling in the airport itself was a new experience for really both of us. You know what I mean? Because we went to Cali once before, but this time we was like really traveling, man. You know what I mean? So from Pittsburgh, that's when we came back to Philly, and then we finally got home, and I didn't touch nothing, man. I went right to sleep, man, because we was out all day just trying to get home. You know what I mean? So that's pretty much this Castaway Studio tour, man. And like I said, after each session, I did a live stream of me editing the tracks, cleaning them up, doing the comps, picking out the takes that I'm piecing together and things like that. So definitely scroll over to MuvMint TV, man, and you can get totally dive into that world of Castaway MuvMint Studio tour, and just enjoy the process. I had to jump back in here, man. I forgot something about this Castaway Studio tour. Remember I told you I had to really lean on God's divine presence on this and direction, right? This was a time I had to leave FedEx because my back was starting to get hurt again. You know what I mean? And I did not want to go through that pain of not being able to feel my arms and legs again and have to get more surgery. So I had to leave FedEx, man. You know what I mean? So I left there in April. We had some cash in reserves, but it was starting to dry up, man. And I had to like, okay, Lord, you put this upon my heart to do this tour, so I'm gonna need you to come out of your pocketbook and out your wallet for me, you know what I mean? And set it up so I can have the funds ready for this. Thankfully, and confidently, I already knew that the Lord was going to do it because this is the direction He wanted me to go, and I truly believe that. You know what I mean? So we got the funding for it. I tried to do like the GoFundMe thing and the sponsorship kind of thing, but nobody to donate to that. I don't think. Nobody did the Cash App or the GoFundMe thing. So I was really dependent on the Lord. I was like, okay, Lord, it's all on you. You know what I mean? The followers don't really want to support me in that capacity. So I'm gonna need you to come forth with the funding. So that's how that came about, man. And he made it happen. From Grant Warehouse all the way to Green Tea Studios, you know what I mean? And even my wife's employment situation kind of got jacked up at the end there, you know what I mean? So we was really leaning on the Lord for everything, but he's pulling us through, man, and we're slowly getting back to where we had to function at the normal level that we usually do, you know what I mean? But I had to jump back in here and let you know about that, why this tour was such an important element of my character development, man, because I had nothing, you know what I mean? So I really had to depend on the Lord to help me fund this thing. I depended on him to maintain my health, jumping on these planes, you know what I mean? I wasn't flying first class, didn't have money for that, you know what I mean? So I was stuck in coach. Thankfully, I've lost the weight to the point where I fit in them seats, okay, you know what I mean? But my shoulders are still big, you know what I mean? So I was a little squinched up in there. So I did go through some pain a little bit in Florida. Like when I got down to Florida, man, I had to take that whole night and just recoup, you know what I mean? And I didn't get up to like 3 o'clock in the afternoon because I had to recoup from being on that plane, you know what I mean? The same thing in California, man. Oh man, that really tore me up, and I was happy to get back home. It got to the point like I was antsy to get back to Jersey, you know what I mean? But yeah, I had to jump back in here and add that part to like the Castaway MuvMint Studio tour. You know what I mean?